Leaders are also strategic thinkers. They're the ones that can bridge from where we are today to where we are tomorrow. It's interesting that often people spend more time planning their vacations than they do planning their life. Leaders are possibility thinkers. They know that it's a time right now for optimism, enthusiasm, passion. Leaders are the ones that keep the hope alive, even in the most difficult times. Leaders are the reflective thinkers, where they turn experience into insight. And they think, after every day, what have I learned today? What have I achieved? Have I given any value? Leaders are shared thinkers. They are the ones that will welcome others to the table to help them think. As Ken Blanchard said, none of us is as smart as all of us. Leaders are bottom line thinkers. They accomplish tasks. Thomas Edison was a bottom line thinker. He said, there ain't no rules around here. We're just trying to accomplish something. Leaders are unselfish thinkers. It was Jack Belusek that said the 3 phases of life are learn, earn, and then return. And return is giving back. So how do we find these leaders? Well, these are the people that are making things happen. Socrates said, to move the world, we must first move ourselves. When you're looking for a leader, ask yourself, can this person bring it home? If they can bring it home for themselves, then they can bring it home for the rest of us. Now Maxwell had this problem. He had 3 really great candidates for this position, and he couldn't decide who would be the best person. Like, what leader do I choose? They're all really great on paper. So he sent them out on this community project, and in 6 months he knew exactly who his candidate was. It was the person who had the influence to get others to follow him, even when they didn't have to follow. It was volunteering. That's a leader. Maxwell also talks about this law of magnetism, that leaders attract other leaders, and leaders spot potential leaders. And leaders track people like themselves. So who you are is really who you attract. And I think that is reflective of who we have in the room today. So how do we develop leaders? Well, let's start focusing inward and take a look at ourselves and self-awareness. In the book True North by Bill George, he questions, why is knowing yourself so important? And not even just yourself, but your authentic self. And the more we know who we are, then the more likely we're able to choose the right role for ourselves and also choose the right role for our teammates. Because if we know our strengths and weaknesses, then we can fill the gaps with people that complement us. In addition, if we're comfortable in our own skin, then we act consistently and we're open and transparent. Continuing to focus inward, we should work on developing ourselves. So we're here today at Rising Start. We're developing our skills. We know that we must begin early, like 5 o'clock this morning. We start small, like hosting little demonstration meetings and having a few conversations. And then we begin now. We organize. And then we decide that we're going to become more intentional. And this one really got me, that Maxwell says, you can claim to be surprised once, but after that, you are unprepared. And I thought that was a really great one, because a lot of times I'm surprised, but I'm not really surprised. I just wasn't prepared. What about the right attitude? We should all act the part of the person that we want to become. Kind of like dress for the job that you want tomorrow, not for the job you have today. Same kind of idea. But this is about your attitude. No one can succeed with negative thinking. So all of us, we should avoid discouraging words and say out loud, it does make a difference. I want you guys all to just say that right now. Just 1, 2, 3. It does
make a difference.
That's positive thinking. That's reinforcement. That's saying to everyone, yes, that matters. That is key. Our friend and philosopher and poet Johann Wolfgang von Goethe said, treat a man as he appears to be and you make him worse. But treat a man as if he already were what he potentially could be and you make him what he should be. Now the question comes to, well, are we really even willing to focus on other people? Do we even do we care to focus on others? And I think we all know the answer because we're here. But to consciously focus on others and put others before yourself is the really true question. So I looked at Jack Welch, who was chairman and CEO of General Electric, also with a net worth of about $800 million. He says, you have no right to be a leader if you don't have it in your soul to build others. Leadership is about advancing others. It's not about advancing ourselves. When we help others, we help ourselves. And this is part of the boomerang principle that John Maxwell has. It's also a long-term investment. Becoming a leader is like investing in the stock market. You can try to make a fortune in one day, but you'll most likely be unsuccessful. It really matters of what we're doing on the day-to-day haul. We must continue to invest development, and eventually we will have growth over time. It is also important for us to walk slowly through the crowd, which means make yourself accessible to others. Let people know, I care about you, I'm here for you, you matter. In the book Influencer by Carrie Patterson, there's a section on surpass your limits. So if we think about many of the problems that we face today, Patterson says that it's really not, it really isn't a genetic curse or a lack of courage or a character flaw, but it's really a lack of skill, which means problems that we have stem from the lack of, and he calls it, deliberate practice. Often we underestimate the need to learn and actually practice our desired skill. And there's little evidence that people who have reached great achievements have ever gotten there through any other means than carefully guided practice. So what can we all do? Let's try some of these exercises. Try to demand yourself of full attention for brief intervals. This means having the ability to concentrate at heightened levels for a long, extended period of time. Most people can only sustain this heightened level for 1 hour. Another thing to try is break our mastery into mini goals. So try 1 hour today, an hour and 15 tomorrow, or maybe in the second half of your day. Prepare yourself for setbacks and build resilience, which means that you're concentrating on then you introduce tasks that require increased effort and persistence. Our destiny. John Maxwell has this law called the law of the inner circle, that a leader's potential is determined by those closest to him. The leader finds greatness in the group and helps the members find it in themselves. So what do we do as rising stars? Continue to mentor. We continue to focus on developing and training our leaders. Let's go back to our Jim Whittaker. Whittaker said, it's our job as leaders to take people to the top of the mountain. It's not that we can get to the top, it's that we can take people with us. Successful leaders are lifelong learners who apply self-discipline and perseverance, and they get better each day. I encourage all of you to reflect on your purpose, to hone in and focus your talents. In this room, with this group, we have the opportunity to grow and experiment as we pursue our vision. We are here to challenge each other to overcome our struggles and our obstacles. So let's make sure we take the time to re-energize and then continue up the mountain together as rising stars. We are making our way to the top together. Mr. Toastmaster.